It is time for the Fulfilled Pastor Group. Kyle Sexton, glad to be with you on this, what is a beautiful sunny day where we are, though we are standing in the shadow of it. And today we are here to talk about vision. How important is vision? What does vision look like? Joining us in the conversation, one of my very good friends in ministry, Jon Klover, is with us, and we're here to pick his brain and get his insight. And of course, we always love to hear from you as well, so make sure you're giving us some comments. They're on the YouTube page. Also, you can give us comments in the school group, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But Jon, welcome. Tell us a little bit, who are you? What do you do? What ministry are you part of? What does that look like?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for having me. So my wife, Haley, and I, we are actually stateside missionaries, and we lead a ministry called Operation Lost Sheep, where really the heartbeat behind everything that we do is restoration, is going outside the walls of the church. We say to reach the lost, the lonely, and the forgotten ones, meeting people where they are and helping to restore them back to God the Father.
Yeah, that's such a beautiful mission, and the vision of that, what you just took this concept of vision and said it in a couple of sentences right there, is so in line with the heartbeat of God, the God that has given us the ministry of reconciliation, and that's what you're carrying out, and so I love that. So let's talk about vision some. You are a stateside missionary, and in some ways that seems like a little bit of an odd thing to us sometimes when we have a more traditional view of ministry. How did you come to the point of saying, hey, I'm going to be a stateside missionary? How did you formulate your vision inside of that space?
Yeah, it was definitely God's vision, because I didn't see that. We didn't see that. We had even had that mindset that missionaries are overseas, that you're going to another country. And so really it just started with a vision God gave us. He gave it to me specifically in 2015 to go after the one that has strayed away, that they knew the Lord, they had a relationship with the Lord, but for whatever reason strayed away. And the Lord just said, start with them, go after them. And so it really wasn't a concept of stateside missions. It was a very clear vision from the Lord of just go and reach that one, because no one else is. And then it really started to become very missional in it and say, hey, this is where the Lord has called us to. This is America needs Jesus more than ever right now. And so being very intentional of sharing that throughout America with different churches, different regions. So it was definitely a vision from the Lord.
Yeah, that's so beautiful, and I love your hearts in it. When it came time for you to take the vision and actually put it down on paper, was that a hard process? What did that process look for you?
It was hard, because I knew in my heart what the Lord had given me, but understanding the importance of being able to cast that vision before others. I think it's Proverbs 29:18 that says, where there is no vision, the people perish. We need vision, but we need to know it for ourselves, but we need to know it so that we can cast that before others. And so I did have to be intentional trying to capture that, to share it with others so that they could grab a hold of the vision that God had given us.
Yeah, that's really, I love that process, and sometimes it is a challenging process, and there's a lot of refinement that takes place inside of it. Are there some key questions that you were asking yourself that you were like, yeah, this helped me, refine this and bring it into where God was really leading us?
Yeah, because in the beginning, again, it was just the one. The Lord was saying, go after the one, but we didn't know what that really looked like. It was just He wanted our yes. And in that, the vision expanded. Disaster relief was nowhere on the radar back in 2017, but the Lord started opening doors there. Homeless ministry, especially in Pensacola, Florida, God was giving us more and more opportunities to reach the homeless there. Now jail ministry. So we've had seasons where the Lord will refine the vision in a certain area, but in the beginning it was a broad vision of just the one and being open to that.
Yeah, so what was the question that you started? Was it who? Who am I going to reach? Or was it how? How am I going to reach them? I mean, what were some of those hard moments for you that you were like, man, that really lined me out?
Yes, yeah, I would say both of those really. The who, trying to define who that was, because people stray away for different reasons. It may be sin caused by them. It may be sin caused to them. It may be someone that strayed away from the Lord because of a broken heart or confusion or hurt. So it really was trying to find who that was. And then the second part of that is how. How is that? The Lord has continued to give us opportunities of reaching them. And it's really in practical ways, finding practical ways to reach that person where they are, whether it's a hot meal, whether it's a physical need they have, shoes, blankets, things like that, reaching them in practical ways so that you can then meet their spiritual needs.
There comes a moment in every ministry where you have to explain this to everybody, you have to distribute it, you have to give it out. Walk us through your experience of distributing that vision. What does it look like for you?
Yes, and we're still doing that now. We're trying to refine that because once again, we want to accurately convey what the Lord has called us to. And so I think you have to know it, and then you have to be able to put it on paper. You have to be able to demonstrate that to people. So we do try to keep it simple. That's why we say we're leaving the 99 to go after the one, because that is the vision in a very short, quick way. But then be able to show them pictures, to share stories, to explain how we're doing that. And so it's through newsletters, it's through social media, but it's finding different ways to reach different people and let them know how the Lord is reaching the one.
Yeah, so we have so many avenues available for us these days to distribute a vision between social media and, of course, face-to-face. But you're finding that even an old school printed paper, it works also, right?
It does. One thing that we're learning is I think the older generation prefers a hard copy. They want to put it on their fridge. They want to put it on their, in their Bible. They want to be able to hold it tangibly, have their hands on it. The younger generation, I would say 30 and under probably, they want to see it. They want to be on social media. They want to see pictures. They want to see videos. They need it very, very short. If you're doing Facebook Reels or Reels in general, minute and a half. If you're doing a YouTube video, no more than 5 minutes, because their attention span isn't as long. But that's how we reach them. And so it's being able to use different facets to convey what it is you're doing for the Lord.
That's awesome. Okay, one last question that we're going to run through here, and that is, there comes a moment when you also have to defend the vision. Yes. Somebody's going to say, hey, I don't think what you're doing is valid. I don't think that's a worthwhile ministry. How do you handle that moment?
We have definitely had those moments, and I think some people can have good intentions, some may have the wrong, but it can be where maybe someone comes alongside to partner with you and they're like, hey, I think you need to do this, or I think you need to do it this way. And once again, you have to know what God has called you to. You are uniquely called to serve and to reach people in a specific way. So there have been moments where we just say, hey, that sounds awesome. If the Lord is leading you to that, then man, I bless you, and I would encourage you to go do that. But that's not what God has called us to. I'll give you a quick example. Say with homeless ministry, some will set up at one spot and reach a group there, feed the masses, and they leave. The Lord has called us to literally go after the one, whether it's under a bridge, behind gas stations, specific spots we know they hang out. So we drive all around. We make a lot of stops because that's what the Lord has called us to do, to meet them at that place, under that bridge, because He loves them that much that He's going to meet them. And so those other ways aren't bad. It's just not how God has called us to do it. So you do have to do it, obviously, in a respectful and a tasteful way, but you have to know, you have to know what God has called you to, the lane He has called you in, and be confident in explaining that to people and walking in that.
Yeah, such good advice. Jon, thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate it. People want to connect with Operation Lost Sheep and the ministry that you have. What's a good way for them to do that?
Yes, absolutely. We are on Facebook, just looking up Operation Lost Sheep. We are on Instagram, but we also have a website, operationlostsheep.org. You can find more about us there. You can kind of see all the different areas where we serve and some pictures and videos there. But we would love to connect with you. Email as well, operationlostsheep1812@gmail.com.
Okay, awesome. And also, we are going to be, for the Fulfilled Pastors group, we're going to be posting their website on our group in the school app. That's SKOOL. It's a free community, For people that are ministering, you may consider yourself a pastor and be like, yeah, that's my group. Well, hey, let me say, if you're a missionary, if you're serving in parachurch, we want your voice in our conversation over here as well. This is all about people in ministry being able to gather together and support one another. So sign up for a free account, school.com. You can link to it from the YouTube page right here. We have the link set up for you to go over and set up your free account, join the conversation, see the resources that are there, and connect with one another. Until then, have a blessed day, and hey, we'll see you on school.